Viewers, let me tell you, today we are going to begin on a very serious note. Viewers, this is a story about rank hypocrisy. It's a story about how so-called secular political parties have nursed cobras who spit communal poison to elicit a backlash from the majority community, so as to then suggest that Islamophobia is rampant in India. So they will provoke, they will incite their own will then resort to some sort of violence or say nasty things. Then there will be a backlash. Then they will say, my gosh, this country is intolerant, Muslims are unsafe. Now this is a dangerous trend and it needs to be called out. Viewers, if we don't stamp these cobras out, we are done for. The latest attempt to provoke, to stir the communal cauldron comes from a Congress-backed cleric and politician who has raised the bogey of a Muslim Rashtra. Yes, viewers, 75 years after Jinnah did so. In fact, almost 100 years after the concept of Pakistan was birthed by people like Muhammad Iqbal, this man has taken to the public realm and unabashedly called for one. His name is Tauqeer Raza. In these pictures, viewers, look at the picture there in the top left-hand corner of your screens. In these pictures, you see Tauqeer Raza, who today borrowed, as I told you, from Jinnah's separatist toolkit, sharing the limelight with Priyanka Gandhi Vadra from before the UP elections in 2022. Since then, viewers, he has got tremendous political support. And emboldened by this political support, this cleric has deliberately invoked a perverse analogy to sow the seeds of fear against the RSS, the BJP, and a number of its civilian supporters, ordinary Hindus, and perhaps even others in the Muslim community. Now, viewers, he's whipping up communal passions in a state where in certain parts there are an overwhelming number of Muslims. In fact, they're even in the majority. Now, how has he done this? He has done this by conflating what is purely a cultural expression, a cultural construct, to religion. He's married the two. Raza has said that those who talk about a Hindu Rashtra must be punished. Because if they aren't, then what if Muslim youth tomorrow demand a Muslim Rashtra? Now, this individual, viewers, either has chosen to misrepresent what the RSS, when it refers to the Hindu Rashtra, means, or, viewers, is scaremongering. But first, listen in to him, and I'll elaborate on all of this, viewers, in just a few moments. First, listen in to him.
वो हिंदू राष्ट्र की बात करने वक्त वालों पर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, 23 दिनों का मुकदमा चलाया जाना चाहिए, वरना हमें अंदेश है इस बात का है कि कल ऐसा ना हो किसी हिंदू राष्ट्र वाले कितनी नफरतें बढ़ा दे, इतनी परेशानियां बढ़ा दे, अफरा तफरी का माहौल बने और हमारे नौजवान कल खड़े हो जाए और जो वो ऐलान करे कि हमें मुस्लिम राष्ट्र, वो हिंदू राष्ट्र की बात करने वक्त वालों पर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, 23 दिनों का मुकदमा चलाया जाना चाहिए, वरना हमें अंदेश है इस बात का है कि कल ऐसा ना हो किसी हिंदू राष्ट्र वाले कितनी नफरतें बढ़ा दे, इतनी परेशानियां बढ़ा दे, अफरा तफरी का माहौल बने और हमारे नौजवान कल खड़े हो जाए और जो वो ऐलान करे कि हमें मुस्लिम राष्ट्र.
Now, Raza is being mischievous, viewers. The man at the helm of affairs at the RSS has articulated the idea of a Hindu Rashtra, and it has nothing to do with religion. Nothing to do at all with religion. According to Mohan Bhagwat in 2018, for example, diversity is the basis of a Hindu Rashtra, and without Muslims, Hindutva will be lost. He asserted that the Sangh is engaged in creating a fraternity of brotherhood, and that unity in diversity is the basis of this fraternity. Let me just read out. He says, diversity is the basis of a Hindu Rashtra. Hindutva will be lost sans Muslims. Hindutva views world as one family, and all spiritual systems should be respected. Now, viewers, obviously, if anyone uses the word Hindu Rashtra, you'll all think that what he means is a Hindu state. A Hindu state like we have a Muslim state of Pakistan. No, viewers, it doesn't mean this at all. And quite naturally, the BJP and RSS came out all guns blazing today against what they are calling is a extraction from Jinnah's book of separatism. And they say that anti-India forces are working in full throttle to split the country by falsely invoking the label of Islamophobia and Hindu supremacism by using this word, Hindu Rashtra, mischievously. Listen in.
हम करना चाहते हैं। दूसरा आपने जो कहा देश तोड़ने वाली शक्तियां हर जगह काम करती हैं, तो चौकन्ना रहना पड़ेगा, सावधानी रहनी पड़ेगी। उस दृष्टि से भी हमारा प्रयत्न है। इसलिए ऐसे क्षेत्र में जो वीकर सेक्शंस होते हैं समाज में इस प्रकार के, वहाँ कन्वर्शन करके विदेशी हित में करने के लिए प्रयत्न करके जानबूझकर भारत विरोधी करने का प्रयत्न होता है, वहाँ चौकन्ना रहेंगे। वहाँ उसको रोकने के लिए स्थानीय समाज जागृत हो, प्रयत्न हम करेंगे। समाज के अंदर के ठीक करना एक है, जो ऑनस्लॉट्स होते हैं इसको रोकने के सावधानी दूसरे है, दोनों साथ साथ चलेंगे।
इस प्रकार के बयानों को जब चर्चा में लाते हैं आप, अब मैं कोई प्रतिक्रिया कर दे दूंगा तो फिर उधर कोई आपका साथी जाएगा प्रतिक्रिया लेगा, फिर वो मीडिया के लिए
FIR भी दर्ज होगी उस पे।
जो दोषी होगा कानून अपना काम करेगा।
Now viewers, let me tell you this, and this is very important for you to understand. The term Hindu Rashtra means Hindu nation, as opposed to a Hindu state with an official state religion. They're two very different things. You could say, viewers, that America, for example, is a predominantly Christian nation, but it is not a Christian state. Britain is a Christian state. But viewers, a Hindu Rashtra, a Hindu nation, is not a Hindu state. I hope you're getting the distinction. Anyone who's trying to conflate these terms and suggest that, oh, this will incite Muslim youth to call for a Muslim Rashtra is therefore being deliberately polarizing. Those who conceive of a Hindu Rashtra, Hindu nation, also espouse, and they say that ideas like Sarva Dharma Sambhava, all religions are equal. Anobhadra Krat Avoyantu Vishwatha, let noble thoughts come to us from all directions. They believe in all of this. As well as Vasudhaiva Kutumbukam, the world is one family. And they also say that the basis of a Hindu nation will be founded in an age-old philosophical concept called Ekam Sat, Vipra Bahuda Vedanti. The truth is one, but the paths are many. Now viewers, in Tauqeer Raza's Muslim Rashtra, many of these phases and their utterance would be considered blasphemous, heresy in many of these Muslim Rashtras. Can you imagine in Pakistan anyone coming out and saying all religions are equal? Or the world is one family when they talk about the world being divided amongst believers and non-believers? Or viewers, the truth is one, but the paths are many to it. Viewers, as I told you, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, this would be considered a heresy. But apart from this, let me remind you that this is not the first time when the Congress-backed cleric has spewed venom. Remember, he had threatened earlier that when Muslims rise, Hindus will have no place to hide. He even called the alleged terrorists killed in Batla encounter as martyrs. Listen into Tauqeer Raza's past utterances, his communal utterances.
उससे कहा था कि सरकार बनने के बाद हमारा पहला फैसला होगा कि हम बटला हाउस इनकाउंटर की जांच कराएंगे। अगर बटला हाउस इनकाउंटर की जांच करा ली होती, दुनिया को पता चल जाता कि जो मारे गए वो आतंकवादी नहीं थे, उनको शहीद का दर्जा मिलना चाहिए। जो इंस्पेक्टर शर्मा मारे गए उस इनकाउंटर में, उनका कत्ल हुआ, उनको भी उनकी पुलिस ने मारा था, जांच नहीं कराई गई। उन्होंने कहा कि इससे पुलिस का मनोबल टूटेगा। मुझसे बहुत लोग कहते हैं ये तुम तो बुज़दिल हो गए, तुम तो कुछ करना ही नहीं चाहते, लेकिन मैं कहता हूँ कि पहले मैं मरूंगा, बाद में तुम्हारा नंबर आएगा। डर लगता है अपने हिंदू भाइयों से, खास तौर से कह रहा हूँ, मुझे उस वक्त से डर लगता है जिस दिन मेरा ये नौजवान कानून अपने हाथ में ले लेगा। हाँ, वीडियो हो गई कंप्लीट। जिस दिन ये नौजवान ये कानून हो गया और कानून अपने हाथ में लेने पर मजबूर हो गया, तो तुम्हें हिंदुस्तान में कहीं पनाह नहीं मिलेगी।
So viewers, as you have seen, this individual who shares the limelight with the likes of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and is patronized by several other top politicians in the country is an expert at trying to mislead, distort, to incite Muslims and spark violence, break down trust, and actually should be in jail. I want to open this up, viewers, and I want to ask some basic questions tonight, and I want to begin with individuals like Vivek Silas, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and of course Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Let me first bring them in. I want to first begin with you, Mr. Silas, since your party has given this man such a wide berth today. You should ask the Yogi government to jail him immediately for misrepresenting and distorting the concept of a Hindu Rashtra to poison the minds of many, many Muslim youth. Let me tell you, the Savarkar, Mr. Veer Savarkar, let me tell you what he said in 37. Let the Indian state, and you say that he is the proponent of a Hindu Rashtra. Let the Indian state be purely Indian. Let it not recognize any invidious distinctions whatsoever as regards the franchise, public services, offices, taxation on the grounds of religion and race. Let no cognizance be taken whatsoever of the man being Hindu or Muhammadan, Christian or Jew. Let all citizens of the Indian state be treated according to their individual worth, irrespective of their religious or racial percentage in the general population. And he goes on. In fact, viewers, and Mr. Silas, today you want to give this horrible individual cover fire? Why?
Yes. Yes, very good evening to you, Rahul, the panelists and the viewers. No, we are not giving any cover fire to such people, and no one should give a cover fire to such people, you know. As you said in your opening comment, indeed this is a dangerous trend that is happening in India. There is no doubt about it. Whether anyone speaking about the Muslim Rashtra or Hindu Rashtra, you know, that these things should not be entertained at all, you know. This caste and religion politics will lead India nowhere, that is a fact. And I think most of our Indians, they do understand that this is not going to lead the country anywhere. It can just create hatred amongst the communities and the religion, nothing more than that, you know.
So you are equating, no, hang on. So let me get this clear. Like Mr. Silas,
Mr.
1 second. You are equating blithely the concept of a Hindu Rashtra to a Muslim Rashtra. Is that what you are doing?
No, I said anyone speaking about the Hindu Rashtra or Muslim Rashtra
why?
Should not be
why should they be? No. Why should? Hang on. Why should you even put them in the same bracket?
Because both statements are not good for the society.
So then tell me something. Why did Nehru? No, hang on. Then why did Nehru? 1 second. Then why did Mr. Nehru, who is a great in your book, sir, secular fundamentalist, why did he invite the RSS to the Republic Day parade if they wanted to split India and make it only a Hindu country and get rid of everybody else? Why does Mr. Ratan Tata go to the... hang on. Why does Mr. Ratan Tata go to the RSS headquarters? Why does one of the tallest leaders of the Congress party, Pranab Mukherjee, who became president, also go to the RSS headquarters if they are like, the people who talk about Khalistan, or those like Jinnah and his followers who went ahead and talked about Pakistan? Why? You tell me, sir.
If late Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru invited RSS to the Republic Day parade, I think it was a good move. It was a move that maybe he wanted to, I was not even born at that time, maybe he wanted to spread a view in the country that India is one, it's a sovereign state. It is a state that has diversity and unity in it.
So then tell me,
that could have been the persons, but there is
hang on 1 second. Diversity and unity are the words you have used, not me, sir. That means the RSS stands for diversity and unity. So how can you then compare the RSS that stands for diversity and unity to a man like Tauqeer Raza, who talks about a Muslim Rashtra? You know what a Muslim Rashtra is?
Yeah, man.
It is Pakistan. Is that diverse and unified?
Tauqeer...
Listen, Mr. Silas, I think you need to go back
Tauqeer Raza, I don't know what type of a man he is. He could be a...
So then why are you equating him? Why are you equating him with Mohan Bhagwat?
No, I'm not equating, but I think as the Honorable Prime Minister said during his speeches, talked about Shamshan and Kabristan, Eid and Diwali. Yogi ji talked about 80-20. That was also a very, very, deceptive move by them, that these type of politics will not help India, is what I said.
But Vivek Silas, hang on, Vivek Silas, talking about these things,
Vivek Silas, Prime Minister has done it.
Okay, so Vivek Silas, let's for a moment say that those were communal statements. Okay, now there's a law to deal with that. But someone talking about a Hindu Rashtra is not being communal, sir. He's talking about a larger identity. That's all. He's not talking about a religious identity. He's talking about a culture. The great glorious Hindu culture, which is based on dharma, which is absolutely open and espouses things that would be anathema in Muslim societies. You know this. Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, can you equate a Hindu Rashtra with a Muslim Rashtra? Can you explain?
Good evening, Rahul. पहले तो एक चीज मैं clear कर दूं. What kind of a Hindu Rashtra is this? Where the Hindus have been through our parliament, our courts, education system, our constitution, reduced to not just second class, but rather 8th class citizens. What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where Ram Navami, Hanuman Jayanti, Durga Puja processions, even Garba celebrations are attacked and stoned with impunity? What kind of hopeless goose-stepping Schutzstaffel, Rahul, are we to be stomping our way to a fascist Hindu Rashtra from Jammu, where Muslims are shouting from mosque they will behead Nupur and all those who oppose Azan and Hijab, to Hubli, where Muslims are pouring onto streets because some Hindu kid photoshopped a Bhagwa flag, from Mumbai, where Muslims are gathering in their tens of thousands for the funeral of the terrorist Yaqub Memon, to Aurangabad, where Muslims are rioting in the streets because someone's Facebook post said Aurangzeb was a mass murderer. What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where a sitting Prime Minister says minorities have the first right to resources? What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where Kashmiri Hindus are forced to be refugees in their own land, where one can settle 40,000 Rohingya Muslims, but not 7 lakh Kashmiri Hindus, the land's original inhabitants? Where the judiciary says it is too late to prosecute those who raped, murdered, ethnically cleansed lakhs of Hindus? What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this, Rahul? Where Hindu temples are exclusively controlled by the state, where Hindus have to beg for Waqf land to celebrate their festivals, Ganesh Chaturthi, where the government usurps hundreds of thousands of acres of temple land and is responsible for more than 100,000 temples losing lakhs of crores in rental income? What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where the RTE Act discriminates only against Hindus and their schools, forcing tens of thousands of them to shut down? What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where monsters like Aurangzeb and Tipu, who perpetrated Hindu genocides, are eulogized through state-sponsored publications, naming of roads and cities, organizing of festivals? What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where a law was about to be enacted, where only the Hindus would have been held guilty in a communal riot, even if they were in a minority, for example, in Kashmir? What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where court judgments like the flawed Sabrimala and legislative enactments like the Hindu Code Bill purport to reforms only Hindu religious practices but dare not touch practices of other religions, and if they do, the decisions are promptly reversed like in Shah Bano? What kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where the Places of Worship Act continues to deny the Hindus their legitimate right to correct historical injustices and reclaim thousands of demolished temples? And finally, what kind of Hindu Rashtra is this where the Waqf Act gives overarching power to Muslims to declare a 1500-year-old temple in Tamil Nadu to be an Islamic land when Islam is only 1300 years old? Rahul, just 10 seconds. If this is a Hindu Rashtra, honestly, I'd much rather be in a Muslim Rashtra, because then at least there'll be no pretense of equality, Rahul. A kafir will get what he deserves.
Let me just ask very simply, Tehseen Poonawalla, this is a fundamental question. Hindus in a Hindu Rashtra. This is what Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan said about Hinduism and about Hindus. The Hindu civilization, so-called, since its original founders or earliest followers occupied the territory drained by the Sindhu River system corresponding to the NWFP and the Punjab. This is recorded in the Rig Veda, the oldest of the Vedas, the Hindu scriptures which gave their name to the period Indian history. The people of the Indian side of the Sindhu were called Hindu by the Persian and later Western invaders. That is the genesis of the word Hindu. When we think of Hindu religion, we find it difficult, if not impossible, to define Hindu religion or even adequately describe it. And you are talking about a Muslim Rashtra in the same breath as a Hindu Rashtra, and you keep heaping abuse on people who talk about such an open, tolerant concept like a Hindu nation. And you are silent when people talk about the narrow, insular Muslim Rashtra that we see across from our borders, that was erected by Jinnah, and that is eulogized by people like this. I want to ask you this question, Tehseen Poonawalla, and I also want to ask you, why is it that Priyanka Gandhi, if this man is such a great icon, beacon of tolerance, sharing a stage with him before the 2022 elections, even after he made horrendous comments against Hindus? It's a very fundamental question, sir. आपको तो RSS से जुड़ने में बहुत तकलीफ होती है. रजा साहब से आप फोटो खिंचवाते हैं.
Good evening, Rahul. I actually concede to most of the points Dr. Ranganathan made. He spoke about POW. Who's in power? Am I in power? And I don't defend Tauqeer Raza. I think Tauqeer Raza is absolute, somebody who's absolute, not required in this country. As you rightly said, Rahul, people like him are not required. But is he in power? Are you in power, Rahul? Is Vivek in power? Is Danish Qureshi in power? Who's in power? The most powerful man in the universe. Why doesn't he repeal the act? You talk about freeing Hindu temples, Dr. Ranganathan. The day I am the Home Minister of this country, I will do it. And I will do it on Rahul's show, Chati Thokar. But मैं नहीं हूँ. Home Minister Amit Shah ji वो बैठे BJP के प्रवक्ता, वो उनको defend करेंगे. And I'll tell you why I compare. And I'll tell you why I compare. Thank you. And I'll tell you why I compare the RSS to people like him. Because Dr. Rajendra Prasad, go from history to today. Dr. Rajendra Prasad writes on 12 December 1948 in his letter to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, because these people don't believe Jawaharlal Nehru. He writes that the RSS is a fascist organization that uses violent means to spread its message. And Anand, since you spoke about a Muslim country, rightly so, where atheists are persecuted, homosexuals are persecuted. This is what in a bunch of thoughts, Golwalkar, here's the BJP spokesperson, let's expose his hypocrisy, writes that the enemies of India are Muslim, Christians, communists, intellectuals, and atheists. Anand, I consider you both an atheist and an intellectual. You are an enemy of India, according to RSS that's sitting out here. Well, Golwalkar also says that women should not become too modern. This is the reason why Vivek is right, that one side of the coin, if there is a Raza, the second side of the coin is the RSS. Both these organizations need to be shown their place. Your question
one second, you haven't answered
the RSS.
Tehseen, you haven't answered one fundamental question. Fair enough. RSS, you, according to, is a fascist, etc., etc.
They are not representatives of Hindus.
Okay, one second.
They use Hindus.
Then why did,
you know one thing?
Why did Jawaharlal Nehru, your icon, excuse me, why did Jawaharlal Nehru, your icon, for example, invite them to the Republic Day parade?
Yes,
you know what
I'll
we celebrate?
that.
Hang on. Do you know what we celebrate on Republic Day?
Yeah.
We celebrate what? We celebrate our constitution.
Celebrate getting our constitution, yes.
That's right.
I'll tell you why he invited them.
Are you telling me that Nehru had lost his marbles? That he would have had to invite people
this country,
hang on, who militate against the idea of the constitution to a Republic Day parade? Sir,
yes.
either you are today disowning Mr. Nehru and calling him perhaps the worst judge of character, or then you are actually misrepresenting his
I'm not.
ideas.
Allow me to put my point
and his
allow me to put my point
in the RSS.
forward.
Tell me.
Allow me, just give
of course.
20 seconds more and I'll expose the BJP.
Tell me. No, you on this point. Don't go into the BJP. Forget the BJP. I want you to tell me, why did Nehru invite the RSS to the Republic Day parade? Tell me, yes, no.
On this point. Yes, he did invite them. He did invite them, and Nehruji invited them. My icon, Nehruji invited them because the RSS chief Golwalkar in writing gave to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel that they will accept the constitution of India. They will drop the idea of Manusmriti being the constitution of India, and they will accept the tricolor. Little did we know that they continued to backstab India. I like they backstab Mahatma Gandhi.
Hang on. Don't try to wheedle out of this, because it's not the only time. Hang on. It's not the only time that the Congress fraternized with the RSS, sir. Pranab Mukherjee did. Indira Gandhi did. Indira Gandhi did. So why?
And I'll tell you
so
why.
That keeps happening as and when. No, hang on. I also want to tell you, Tehseen, there's a fact check coming your way. You talked about Mr. Golwalkar. Do you know that the RSS itself distanced themselves from Golwalkar's claims? They disowned the book, We Are Nationhood Defined, and brought out another book of a compendium of his other thoughts. Excuse me. I'm just putting the facts. Excuse me, Mohan Bhagwat. Please allow me, Tehseen. Don't shout me down when I'm fact checking you. That's not fair. Come on. I never interrupted you. I only asked you a follow-up question. You had your say, and let me just put the record straight, because a large number of viewers tune in, and I don't want viewers to get sucked in by this propaganda. It's very important. Here the facts speak, viewers, on this show, India Upfront, so you can get closer to the truth. I don't do this as a service for myself or to try and sound smarter than Tehseen Poonawalla. I do it for you. So hang on. So let me just tell you, viewers, that Mohan Bhagwat in 2018 said the RSS has put together a new compendium of quotes of Golwalkar, and they only stand by these. They have rejected everything else.
Okay, can I expose this, please, in one line? Dr. Kant is on your show. Dr. Kant, just answer one question. Since Mr. Bhagwat said he's rejected this, which Mr. Golwalkar says only North Indian Brahmins or upper caste people are superior, why has the RSS never had a Dalit or an OBC chief ever? And today on the show, commit that since you believe in Hinduism, the next chief of the RSS will be a Dalit or an OBC. Commit on this show right now. You are an Hindu organization, commit it. Expose me, commit it.
Dr. Kant.
Come on.
Rahul, first of all, I want to clarify that India is a Hindu nation. It is true. It may be a secular country, but India is a Hindu nation, because nation is a concept, of philosophical concept, which you try to explain everybody, but I think my Tehseen Poonawalla is not understanding. If we are finding out the Islamic nation, go to the Makkah and Medina, you will find the Islamic nation. So this is a basic difference between the nation and country. Country is a political unit, and the main soul of our Indian constitution lies in the Hinduism. Why I am telling that, I want to show something. This is a true Indian constitution, basic Indian constitution, where you can see this photograph of Nataraj, you can see the photograph of Hanumanji, you can see the photograph of Krishna giving sermon to Arjuna, and this is a photograph where Ram Darbar is there. So everybody who is residing in this country have to understand what is the concept of Hinduism, and Supreme Court has already clarified it, that Hinduism is not a religion, it is a dharma, and there is a difference between dharma and religion. In our constitution is a Panth Nirpeksh constitution. It's not the Dharma Nirpeksh constitution, because without dharma, no constitution, no country can run. And during the division, during the partition of our country between India and Pakistan, what was the vision of Mr. Mahatma Gandhi? Vision was Ram Rashtra. Ram Rashtra. How it comes? It comes because we belong to Hinduism, and it is Hinduism. That is why we got this Ram Raj, yes, Ram Raj. And because of this reason only, we have adopted such a constitution in which every religion, every panth can survive equally. And right now, when we are going to the politics,
so why did BJP oppose this constitution, which Nehru and
I am
Ambedkar
telling you the fact. Just please.
So why did BJP oppose it? Just explain to me.
Please, listen to me.
It was such a secular constitution.
Listen to
why
me.
Did they oppose it?
Okay, something. One second. Dr. Ranganathan is holding something up. Dr. Ranganathan, one second. Dr. Kant, one second. Dr. Kant, one second. Dr. Ranganathan is holding up something. What is he holding up? Dr. Ranganathan, tell us.
Couple of points here. Tehseen, I agree with Tehseen that, like him, I don't care about this Tauqeer Raza or whoever. I care about why my Prime Minister and my Home Minister have relegated Hindus continue to be 8th class citizens. UPA has been gone for 8 years. We are in the NDA era and we continue. So my grouse is not with Tauqeer Raza or someone. My grouse is with the current Prime Minister. There Tehseen is right. But here I must show him something, which is Dr. Mohan Bhagwat himself dissociating the entire RSS from those internal enemy remarks of Gowalkar.
He won't accept these. He won't accept these. Dr. Ranganathan, he will not accept these because it doesn't fit.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Take 20.
I want to ask Tehseen this question. Thank you. Because in the words of Dr. Bhagwat, he said the RSS will change with times. Those remarks were in that context. We dissociate ourselves with those remarks. We are not a dogmatic organization. So I want to ask Tehseen, should those religious books that talk of burning kafirs and roasting kafirs in hell and othering, because that is what real fascism is, like RSS has dissociated itself from the remarks of Gowalkar, do you want Muslims to dissociate themselves from the remark of those religious scriptures? Yes or no, Tehseen?
I want every Indian to live by this book, which is the Constitution of India, which by this book, but I want why? I want how is it exposed?
I want every Indian to live by this book.
It is a fascist organization. And I'll give you more evidence. Allow me to now. Please allow me to give you evidence. Please allow me to give you evidence.
I asked you
Please allow me to give you evidence. Please allow me to give you evidence. Give me 10 seconds to give you evidence.
Tehseen, can you tell me why these photographs was removed from the Constitution?
We dissociate ourselves from those remarks because those remarks were in that context. We are not a dogmatic organization. So I want to use.
Can I expose you now, Anand?
To ask 1.8 billion Muslims to dissociate from every fascist remark uttered in a religious scripture. Say it, Tehseen. Say it.
Now let me expose you, Anand. Right now on this show, you are comparing a religious book to a book written by Gowalkar. Fine, you can compare that. That is your freedom. I'm not getting into that. No, that's not a valid comparison. But please allow me to. Please allow me to. Just two points. The RSS के हाथी के दांत दिखाने के और खाने के अलग, and I'll expose that to you. While Mohan Bhagwat ji makes this statement, no person apart from an upper caste person has ever been the RSS chief. They still are a casteist organization. I'm telling you, Dr. Kant will not expose it. Why? Why? If they represent Hindus, why can't a Dalit or OBC? Why can't it be? Number two.
No homosexual has been a Congress chief. Why?
The Congress has stood up for homosexual rights. The Congress has stood up for homosexual rights. The Congress has stood up for homosexual rights. Who went to court against same-sex marriage? The BJP government. The BJP went to court against same-sex marriage. No. Congress has stood up for homosexual rights. In 2019 manifesto it stood up.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
in 2019 manifesto it stood up for homosexual rights.
Absolutely not.
And the BJP is gone to.
While it was during the UPA,
hang on, listen to me,
offense.
Gentlemen. Let's not get into a shouting match. Maybe that question. One second. Let me bring in Danish Qureshi. He's been very, very, very peaceful, and let me ask him a question. Danish bhai, okay, Hindu Rashtra is a bad thing. It's a Hindu state. आप चलो conflate कर दो. From other books in a Muslim nation, thought should come. I'm asking you, sir. मुझे आप बता दीजिए ये. Or will there only be one book?
Rahul. Okay, Rahul. I come on conclusion that your total arguments means that that Hindu Rashtra or Hindu books or Hindu idea is superior than constitution. If anything is been, if you are talking about that anything
Sir,
is
the
being superior than constitution, I
imbibes from Hindu dharmic philosophy.
Let me allow to complete.
Rahul, 1 minute. No, hang on.
If
I'm not going to allow you to this thing you're misrepresenting. One second.
Rahul, this is not about philosophy.
No. Listen, these quotes. These quotes. 1 minute. You lower his fader. This man is talking again. Lies. These quotes, viewers, some of them are on your Supreme Court. Some of them are on your Parliament's walls. What am I saying that they are superior to this or superior to that? This is in your top institutions, these quotes. In fact, the G20 presidency slogan is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Are these people living in some sort of a cocoon? It's absolutely ridiculous. Dr. Ranganathan, can you educate this man, Danish Qureshi, who just wants to spew hate and create divides in this country?
Rahul, it's a very simple question. As Tehseen agreed with me, he actually agreed that constitutionally, judiciary-wise, through courts, through our parliament, Hindus are being discriminated against. Tehseen agreed. It is another point that I agree with Tehseen, that why is this government not, removing the discrimination? But the point that please press Tehseen and Danish Saab on this is that this is a country where far from a Hindu Rashtra, in a so-called Hindu Rashtra, the majority is being discriminated against.
No, forget that. The basic question tonight, viewers, the basic question is this, that in a Hindu Rashtra, you will have the truth coming from all directions. That you will have, viewers, the fact that all religions are equal. You will have no concept of Darul Harb and Darul Islam.
Correct.
And you are equating that with a Muslim Rashtra? It is absolutely shocking. And it tells you the mindset that informs this prejudice against the very essence of what it's to be a Hindu. All these charlatans who talk about, oh, we are the real Hindus, they don't even know the basis of their philosophy. It's not even a way of life, viewers, it's a view on life. Let's move on. And that's why I said this is a very critical debate. It's a very critical debate because let this not be confused anymore. Even the courts have given you clarity on this.